Hello, welcome. Today let's try to solve another Leetcode problem 149, max points on a line. So we are giving the points on a coordinates. We want to calculate how many points, maximum of the points on a line. For this example, 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. So maximum, there are 3 points. So this is a geometry problem. Yeah, we can solve it like the mathematic way. But if we solve it just using the mathematics, we just need to calculate the slope. For example, this k is the slope, and this b is the y-axis intercept. Yeah, if we want to use this kind of a method, yeah, because all the points, if they are in one line, it should have the same k and b. So k is the slope and b is y-intercept. So if they have the same value, we can put it inside a set. But this will cause the float point precision problem, because in programming, the floating point is not accurate for all the programming languages. So for this example, if I were to print out let me print out the set. You will see the precision problem. Yeah. So I will not explain this lines of code, but this method is just needed to calculate the line k and b and then check all the points if the point is on the same line or not. Yeah, let's just check this problem first. After that, I will explain a good way for solving this problem. As you can see, the result is not okay, especially for the false cases. Yeah, we don't need to check these points, but if we check the k and b, so the slope, as you can see, is the same, but the intercept, y-intercept is different. Yeah, actually it's the same, but for floating point calculation, so it is not accurate. So it means we can't use this way to calculate. Yeah, if we want to use this way to calculate, we have to control the precision, and it's really difficult to control by that. Yeah, but we can have another way to calculate it. Yeah, let me explain this way for solving the problem. Yeah, but before solving the problem, let's understand some basic concept of greatest common divisor. Yeah, if I use the library from the Python, yeah, if we try to check some numbers like 2 and 4, 4 and 6, 0 and minus 6, minus 2 and 3, minus 3 and 2, minus 2 and minus 3, you will see the greatest common divisor. It will always be the positive, because this is from the library. So if we can also write a GCD by ourselves, yeah, you can see the difference. Yeah, so it will have the positive and negative numbers as well, but it will have no influence for our calculations. Let me explain for the calculation. Yeah, because according to the definition of the line, so if all the points in the same line, it means this line have a fixed slope. Yeah, let me use the whiteboard here. Yeah, we can see from here. So if these 3 points are in the same line, so it means these 3 points have this any 2 points. For example, this is a point 1, this is a point 2, and this is a point 2. Any 2 points, like point 1 and 2, have the same slope. Yeah, the slope is 1. And for 2 and 3, also the same slope, it is 1. For 1 and 3, also the same slope. Yeah, so we want to use the slope value. Yeah, so for our calculation, we're gonna first take 1 point. For example, we're gonna take the point 1. We take this point out. So for the point 1, it is 3 and 3. And then we try to check all the points. If they have the same slope, it means it must be in the same line, because this point is fixed. Yeah, if it has the same slope, it must be in the same line. Yeah, for example, this point, if it is here, so it means it is not the same slope. It must be in another line. Yeah, but how we should represent the slope? We cannot use mathematics to, yeah, like, so this point is 3, 3, this point is 1 and 1. Yeah, we cannot use like 3 minus 1 and y3 minus 1 divided 3 minus 1 and 3 minus 1. Yeah, so this is like y, if yeah, so this is like this point, if this is x2 and y2, this is x1 and y1, so x2 minus x1 divided y2 minus y1, so we calculate the slope. Yeah, this is like 2 divided by 2. Yeah, but for some other cases, maybe 2 divided by 9, so this will cause the floating point precision problem. So we need to avoid that. How should we avoid that? We can use the tuples to represent the slope. So how should we use the tuples? So for this example, 3, this is this point to this point. So the slope is 3 minus 1, it is 2, and 3 minus 1, it is 2. We're going to use this point to represent the slope. Yeah, and we also have other values. For example, this point and this point. So it will be 1 and 1. Yeah, but actually this 2 and 2 and 1 and 1, they are the same. But how should we make it the same? So we can use the greatest common divisor. We can use GCD. Yeah, so we should know about that. GCD 2 and 2, so it is 2 because it's the greatest common divisor. So if this 2 divided by a GCD 2, this 2 divided by GCD 2 and 2, so it's going to be 0.1 and 1. So in this way, we can find all the points that are in the same line. We can use the greatest common divisor. Yeah, so this value, it means y2 minus y1 or x2 minus x1, it doesn't matter, then divided by this 2, divided by the GCD of this 2 and 2, and yeah, we got the same points. Yeah, but we also have the cases like this. Inside of the GCD, it can be positive or negative, but this GCD doesn't influence our slope. Yeah, so for example, if two numbers are minus 2 and minus 3, so this 2 means x2 minus x1. This minus 3 means y2 minus y1. So if they are always be the negative numbers, the greatest common divisor is 1. So this minus 2 divided by 1, it's still minus 2, and this will still be the minus 3. Yeah, but for calculating the slope, we should know it should be minus 3 divided by minus 2, actually. So it's a positive number. Yeah, we can also try this way. So the GCD is minus 1, but minus 2 divided by minus 1 and minus 3 divided by minus 1, it is 2 and 3. But 3 divided by 2 is also a positive number. So this means no matter which ways we are using GCD, no matter it's from the library or it is from the by our function, yeah, like the mod to calculate, make it a negative GCD, it doesn't influence our result because the slope will always be unique no matter which ways we are trying to calculate, because the final slope is always decided on those two numbers inside the GCD. Yeah, I mean inside the GCD minus 2 and this minus 3, but the result of GCD doesn't influence the slope, no matter it is positive or it is negative. Yeah, because it will always be the positive. It always decided on those two numbers. So this means, yeah, the slope will always be unique. Yeah. Now let's go back to the code editor to finish the coding. Yeah, this is just like a brute force. We first take out one point and then check all other points if they are in the same line or not. And then we take another point Yeah, this is like enumeration, and then check all other points if they are in the same line, and then we check the maximum value. So the maximum will be the result. Now let's just code it up. Let me find a place to. Yeah, now let's just code it from here. Yeah, let me delete all those lines and start from the beginning. So we need a result, and yeah, so the result I'm gonna define it as 1 because there will be at least 1 point. So the point dot length will be at least 1. Then I'm going to define another variable n. So n will be the length of the points. So here will be the length of the points. Now I'm going to use a 2 for loop. So for I in range n, and for j in range n. Yeah, and we need to check this value I and j. I should not equal to j because we don't need to take the same points. Yeah, but before this j, we need to, before this line, we need to check the first points. So we're gonna define it as x1 and y1 should be points I, and here we're gonna prepare another point. X2, y2 should equal to points z. Now we need to check if they are not equal, but we need also to define a dictionary because for each for loop inside, we need to check the maximum value. So the dictionary will be default dict, and it would be a list. It would be integer inside. It would be int. So if I not equal to z, we need to put it inside our result, put it inside the dictionary. But we can calculate a factor first. So the factor should be GCD with x1 minus x2. It doesn't matter, yeah, or x2 minus x1 with yeah. Let's try to use x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. Yeah, so this is actually this is the slope, representation of the slope. But we need to use a GCD to find the greatest common divisor because we're going to use this factor, this greatest common divisor later. Yeah. Now we can put it inside the result. So it should be D with x2 minus x1 divided by the factor. Here we can use the two slices with division. Yeah, because we are sure this is an integer and the factor is the greatest common divisor and the result must be an integer. Yeah. Now similarly we can use y2 minus y1 and divided by the greatest common divisor of those two values. Now we need to have a check after this for loop. So the result would be the maximum with the result and max d dot values. Yeah, but we are not sure if there is any value inside the dictionary. So if there's only one point, we cannot find another point. So we need to have a check. So if it does exist. So if d dot values, this means there must be some value inside the dictionary. So we're gonna find the maximum value inside the dictionary and then compare it with the result. Yeah. So for each point, we're gonna check it like this. So what is the time complexity? So this is a for loop. So here is another for loop. And now inside we define a dictionary, and here we just put all the points inside the dictionary. We didn't add any loops, so the time complexity is just O(n) square, and n is 300 maximum. Yeah. Now let's return the result, but we need to check the values because the values is just, for example, this is one point. We find another point. We code it as value. Yeah, here I need to count it. Yeah, because inside this is a tuple, and if they are the same, I need to count it by 1. And this one should be a tuple inside. Yeah. So inside it would be a tuple. So this is the first value, and this is the second. Yeah, and this is the second value. Yeah, I'm going to check the maximum value, need 2 plus a 1, because I didn't count the first points. If I take out 1 point, I should count the first points also. Yeah, so the d dot values should maximum of d dot values should plus 1. Yeah, now let's check if it works. Yeah, this is a dict values unsupported operator. Yeah, let me write it again. So it should be the maximum with the result and d dot max d dot values plus 1. It should be outside. Yeah, now let me check if there's any mistakes. Yeah, but it seems the result is not okay. So this is a 2, and yeah, this means there's something wrong. The first points, the second points, I calculated the greatest common divisor, and I put a tuple inside. Yeah, let me just print out the dictionary to check if there's something wrong. Yeah, I should define this dictionary before the second for loop. Yeah, because this dictionary should be prepared before all those points. Otherwise, I didn't get the right answer. Yeah, because this dictionary is prepared for all the points. It's not one point. Yeah. Now let me run it to check. Yeah, as you can see, it works. Yeah, so this is why I did it a few minutes ago. It works. Now it didn't. Yeah, and then there's some logic error. So this dictionary should define before the second for loop, because we're gonna check all the points. If it meets the conditions, we're gonna put it inside of the dictionary, and after that, here we're gonna check this dictionary and put it inside of our result. Now let me delete the print and submit again to check if it works. Yeah, as you can see, it works and it's pretty fast. Thank you for watching. See you next time.